Hello, I'm Scott Amy, Senior Director for Worldwide Technical Training at Microsoft. And I'd like to welcome you to Microsoft's official certification exam preparation course. We're so thrilled that you've chosen to pursue a Microsoft certification. This course is going to prepare you to take the exam by providing an overview of the exam format, a refresher on the major objective domains covered by the exam, and by providing a number of useful resources and tips for studying. This course will be taught by one of our Microsoft certified technical trainers. And you'll also hear from our head psychometrician, who's responsible for designing the approach for creating our exams. We're invested in helping you to succeed with Microsoft and achieving our mission to empower every person and every organization to achieve more. Let's now take a look at what Microsoft certifications can offer you. Microsoft-related jobs are consistently ranked among the top in demand technology roles and are continuing to grow in total market share. Earning a Microsoft certification can help you in a number of ways. It can help you demonstrate your knowledge in the latest cloud skills areas. It can help you contribute more effectively in your role. It can help you build industry-recognized and transferable skills. It can help you advance and accelerate along your career path, and it can help you earn more in compensation. We're frequently evolving our certification training and our exams, updating our existing certifications, and launching new certifications to ensure when you say you're Microsoft certified, it means something. So thanks again for your interest and commitment to Microsoft. We hope you enjoy this official exam prep experience and find it a valuable resource in helping you prepare for the exam. So now it's time to hand you over to your Microsoft certified trainer who will lead you through the course. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to AI 900 Artificial Intelligence Fundamentals Exam Review. My name is Chelsea Lee and I will be your Microsoft Technical Trainer, leading you through the next hour and a half, preparing you for all things that you'll need to know for the AI 900 exam. This is going to be a great prep session for you if you've already gone through one of our instructor-led courses or you've reviewed the information on the learning path for AI 900. This is a great class, so let's go ahead and get started and talk about how this specific certification fits in the overall Microsoft portfolio. Let's review Microsoft's role-based certification structure. What we're going to look at today are the two levels of certification, the fundamentals and the associate. The course that you're taking today is for the AI 900 Azure AI Fundamentals. Now, after this certification is where then you could actually sit for the associate level. In order to sit for the exam, there's an expectation about where you are with your journey with Azure AI. Let's review where this exam prep course fits in with your certification journey. You may already have taken an official Microsoft Azure AI Fundamentals training, whether it was self-paced online or maybe you even took an instructor-led training. What we have is this course, the official exam prep experience. This course is meant to help you prepare to take the exam by covering many of the different exam questions that you may get, what type of topics may be covered, and what resources you can have or what you can use to study. Following this session, you should really plan on studying the topics that we've identified in the course. There's so many different learning resources that are available to you, including different labs, documentation, practice tests, and even more. At the end of the course, what we're going to do is we're going to provide you with a study guide with all of the links to these different resources. After you go through the self-study, you're ready to take the exam. So let's go ahead and discuss how we'll cover all these different topics throughout this course. This course has 5 sections, and it will take us about an hour and a half to complete. What we're going to do is after this introduction, we're going to actually look at the exam overview, where we're going to hear from our head psychometrician on the different types of questions that you may find and how your exam score is determined. Then in our third section is where we're actually going to spend most of our time. Here, this is where we're going to review the objective domains or the topics and concepts that you're going to need to know for the exam. Objective domains include the prerequisite skills that are required to perform the tasks tied to the certification. And there's going to be 5 objective domains. We're going to have the first one, which is describing artificial intelligence workloads and different considerations. Number 2 is describing the fundamental principles of machine learning on Azure. 3 is describing the features of computer vision workloads on Azure. 4, describing the features of natural language processing workloads on Azure. And 5, describe the features of conversational AI workloads on Azure. At the end of this course, we'll recap what we covered, and then we'll review the process for registering for the exam. In addition, we're also going to review the resources available for your self-study. And like I said, we're providing you with that study guide with all of those helpful links to key resources, especially the ones that we're going to be covering in today's class. So at the end of this course, we're really looking for you to be able to do 4 things. We want you to know what's going to be covered in the exam. And this is going to help you determine which concepts that you need to prioritize for your study sessions. We also want to explain the different potential exam question formats that you might come across. And we want to make sure that you know how to locate learning resources that you're going to utilize in your studying. Now, I want to point out a couple things. This is not a replacement for the full training. And, it doesn't even replace the experience that you get from working in the artificial intelligence field. What this course is meant to do is to help you learn what you can expect on the exam. But I'm not going to be able to teach you in detail the different topics. So, what you do need to expect to do is to spend additional time studying any of the areas that maybe we identified that you're just not quite comfortable with. So that, I think, covers everything on my end. So why don't we go ahead and pass it over to Liberty, who's going to walk you through what you can expect on your exam.
Hello, I'm Liberty Munson, Microsoft Psychometrician. It's my job to ensure that whatever tool or process we use to evaluate skills is valid and reliable. So at the end of the day, when you say you're Microsoft certified, you truly have the skills you need to be successful. Today, I get to talk to you about our exams and help you get better prepared so that you can have a successful certification journey. So let's start with the basics. Most of our exams have between 40 and 60 questions. Because Microsoft is constantly updating our exams, the number of questions you see may vary if you have to take an exam multiple times. Some of the questions are worth more than 1 point. Keep in mind, there's no penalty for guessing, so you should answer all of the questions. You may also have questions that cannot be skipped. Be sure to read the instructions carefully so you aren't surprised when you cannot return to a question. If you aren't sure about an answer, you can always mark your questions for review and return to them before leaving the section or the exam. How much time should you plan for your exam? For specialty and role-based, plan for 180 minutes. 150 of those minutes will be used to answer the questions or complete the exam. 30 minutes are for reading the instructions, providing comments, getting your score, and so on. For fundamentals exams, plan for 90 minutes. Of which 60 minutes is for the exam and 30 minutes is for that miscellaneous stuff I just mentioned. Microsoft exams contain a wide variety of question types, from multiple choice to build list to drag and drop and hot area. It's not just multiple choice questions, which is so cool. We also just recently introduced some performance-based items on our role-based and specialty certifications. In addition, those certifications will have case studies that require you to integrate information across multiple sources in order to answer the question. So let's take a closer look at what the structure of an exam question looks like. All of our exam questions on our role-based and specialty exams follow a similar format. They start with information about the technical environment or a scenario, the problem that needs to be solved, the goals that need to be met, and a question statement. The question statement is typically, what should you do? Sometimes it is even, what should you do next, or what should you do first? For fundamentals questions, the structure is simpler. Some questions are simply a goal statement and a question statement. Sometimes they're even simpler than that, with just an instruction statement telling you to answer yes if the comment is true and no if it's not, or to match a definition to a word. An instruction sentence is included when you have to take multiple steps to answer the question. This will indicate what needs to be done, how many answers to select, and if each selection is a complete or partial answer. Pay attention to the instruction sentence because it tells you a lot about what is required to answer the question. Here is an example of what a role-based or specialty exam question looks like. As you can see, we have a technical environment, a business plan or problem, a goal statement, and then the question statement. In this case, because you just have to select one answer choice, you don't have an instruction statement. As I mentioned, the fundamentals exam questions are simpler in structure. In this case, you can see that it's just a goal statement and a question statement. I chose this particular example because it illustrates something else that can be unique about some of Microsoft's certification questions, and that is that it only has 3 answer choices, and that is by design. So if you ever see one of these questions, the right answer is among one of those 3 answers. There's not a missing 4th choice. In 2018, Microsoft began adding labs to our certification exams with the goal of having at least one lab with at least 15 tasks so that candidates can show by doing rather than show by knowing. Let's take a closer look at what those labs look like. Here are 3 examples about the lab interface. Starting at the left, this shows the standard lab interface with the Azure portal on the left side of the screen and the tasks that need to be complete on the right. The test taker completes the tasks in the Azure portal and when complete, submits the lab for scoring. Similarly, the second image shows what the interface looks like for labs that require multiple virtual machines to complete. In the last image, you will see an example of what the lab interface looks like in the situation where the lab is used as a resource. In this experience, the candidate must navigate and explore the lab in order to answer the questions. These questions cannot be answered unless the candidate knows how to find the information in the lab. This design is used for job roles where the tasks are too long to perform, are overly complicated, require expensive resources, or simply take too long to process. Now let's take a look at how scores work. At Microsoft, all of our certification exams have a cut score of 700. This is not equivalent to 70%, which is a common misperception. This is a scaled score where the raw cut score is translated to 700 and the remaining points possible are distributed across a range of 0 to 1000 through a mathematical conversion based on the raw cut score being equivalent to 700. Why do we do this? Imagine if you see a harder set of questions, should your cut score be the same as someone who got an easier set of questions? No, that's not fair. By scaling scores, we ensure that the difficulty of the questions you see is taken into account and where your cut score is set. That's really the only fair approach. So how do we set the cut score? It's based on conversations with subject matter experts about the difficulty of the item pool in relation to the skills of the target audience. Some other tips that I'll leave you with as you prepare to take your exam. Remember, no points are deducted for wrong answers, so you should answer every question. Go with your gut and don't overthink it. If you're overthinking it, chances are you're making it too tricky. Our questions are not designed to trick candidates. They're designed to test your knowledge and skills. If you have an instant reaction to what the answer should be, that's probably the right answer. Some questions cannot be revisited. Make sure you read the instructions so you know when that's the case. Some questions are worth more than 1 point. So at the end of the day, the best advice I can give you as you go through your exam is to answer every question. You will not be penalized for wrong answers. Questions can be worth more than 1 point. It's only in your best interest to do that. With that, I'll hand you back over to your trainer.
Thank you, Liberty, for that insight into what goes into our exams. Now what we're going to do is we're going to review what you can actually expect on the AI 900 exam. Let's review the objective domains that are going to be covered on this exam. Like I said before, objective domains are the main grouping of topics and concepts that are going to be included on a test. So, like we covered earlier, that there are 5 objective domains, and you're going to find the weighting of each objective domain, and what that weighting means is that the percentage of questions that will be on the exam from each objective domain. So from describing AI workloads and considerations, we're expecting 15 to 20%. In Objective Domain 2, which is all about machine learning, that's going to be our heaviest objective domain of the entire exam. So this is one, if it's something that's new to you, you're going to want to spend a little bit of extra time studying here. In Objective Domain 3 through 5, again, we're looking at that 15 to 20% of your overall exam. So that doesn't mean that you don't want to pay attention to those and only pay attention to Objective Domain 2. But Objective Domain 2, you know at least a third of your exam is coming from there. So we want to make sure that you're prepared for that, but you're also prepared for the remaining 4 objective domains as well.